welcome back to the channel. It is Carrie here from Carrie Counts Cash. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm winding down on my last few days off now. I went Christmas shopping this weekend. I got up all my outside decorations. I've mostly finished the house. I'm just gonna do some tidying up today and kind of put up the final touches. So I would say that I'm doing pretty darn well, and I hope you are too. I know that I have not done a weekly check-in in a little while. I thought we would do one today. Now, I will say that I went through and I've already added everything into my planner. I've highlighted everything. I've done the totals, but that is just because it has been so confusing with the Christmas shopping and money I've spent there and all of that. So I just kind of wanted to talk about it really quickly. There won't be any unstuffing because I have already done that, okay? Okay guys, so we're gonna talk about the 13th to the 19th. You'll see the latter half of the week was my heavier bit with spending, and that's because I worked basically Monday through Friday. Now, the elephant in the room, or really I should say the kitty in the room, is taking up more than half of the camera's field, but he's okay. He's not causing any trouble, so I'm gonna let him be until he starts sowing any chaos, and then we'll boot him out. So I hope you're okay with that, because when Poe decides he wants a little bit of attention or a rubbin, we generally try and give it to him because he's being really, really good. So on the 13th, I ended up going to Canadian Tire. I bought some light bulbs. These were for my outside sconces, and under my eaves, they cost $43.86. I think I pulled that from household and miscellaneous just so that I didn't completely obliterate my household fund. And I was going for something like classic but still gorgeous and minimalistic at the same time. So I'm super happy with the way it turned out. And that was it for Sunday. Now on the 14th, I ended up paying my mortgage. That was $339.98. That usually comes out on Friday. However, Friday was the 11th. It was Remembrance Day here in Canada, so that was a holiday. And then it would come out on the first business day after that. I don't cash stuff this in my bills. I just leave that in my checking. So you usually don't see anything to do with my mortgage, but it is still there. I do have to pay that. So I did buy my dad a Christmas present on Monday, the 14th. That was $75.53, and I am still waiting for that to come, but that should be here either tomorrow or the next day probably. And I'm not writing in specifically what these Christmas presents are as we move forward, just on the off chance that somebody I know sees them, right, Poe? On the 15th, I got some groceries, $22.83. That came out of my grocery envelope, and I don't owe that back. We're not doing any unstuffing because I have already done that, as I mentioned, and that was it for groceries. It was mostly just a quick little top up. The 16th was a no spend day. We had one on the 10th, which was the day I got paid, but that's really been it this week. I haven't been doing very well with those. And now on the 17th, I went to Shoppers and bought some cream for my eczema. That cost $24.37. If any of y'all have eczema, you know it's probably a huge pain in the behind to you. On the 17th, my inner elbows, like my inner arms, is where I get it really bad. I don't generally get it too many other places. That was like completely as raw as it can be, and it was burning. I couldn't even bend my arm up or tolerate any fabric rubbing on that. So I was in bad straits there and had to get the cream, so I don't even care that it cost me 25 bucks. But it is worked like a dream, so I will not complain. And then on the 18th was my big day. So I went into the city. I spent $30.88 on fast food, and I have been doing pretty well on my diet so far. So this was a big cheat day for me, but it was okay because it's the only one I've had. And we've been doing this diet now for like 3 weeks. So that's exciting. And then I also spent $6.82 out of my spending envelope. I went to Wheaton's and bought like a hair collector for the bathtub, because y'all ladies, if you have long hair, if it falls out when you're in the bathtub or you're washing your hair, then you know what a mess it can be with the drain. So I got something to prevent it from getting that far. And I ended up buying my planner. I didn't buy from Erin Condren like I was initially planning to do, but I bought a happy planner. Let me see if I can grab it right here. My work area is a mess. I have to, yeah, it's hard to see, especially with Poe. I'll show you next week probably. But anyway, so I bought a happy planner and I bought some washi tape and I bought a couple other like trackers for GoodNotes. I bought a new weekly expense tracker and I ended up buying a no spend tracker that I do plan on printing off and putting in my no spend challenge envelope. But I've got an addiction to buying those things on Etsy. I think y'all probably know that by now. But that in total cost me $81.40. And that is still less than what I thought the Happy Planner, what I thought the Erin Condren was going to cost me. Because when you go to select the drop-down menus in Erin Condren, you can select a different country other than America. But you can't put in a Canadian postal code. So I got all the way to the end and I was pumped about it. I had a lot of stuff in my cart, and with shipping and stuff. Hey, that's too much. You can't have a bath on camera. It's private. Okay? Anyway, so it would have been a lot more than $81.40, so I was happy with that. Now, personal, I spent $59.97. I think I bought a body spray. I bought some batteries for the house. I bought so many things that day. I can't tell you what came out of what category. I legit came home and spent like 2 hours trying to figure out where I should take the money from. None of my envelopes are fully depleted, and I only spent money that I actually had, which was nice, but still. And then Christmas, this says $265, but I honestly think that there was some Christmas decorations included in here that I took out of household that I didn't actually pull out of Christmas. So I feel like in that case, I would have spent about $150 in the city on Christmas presents that day, which could have been much worse. So I'm very happy with that. And that was the extent of the damage that I did on the 18th. Now on the 19th, I ended up paying my TV and internet bill. That was $166.29. That did go up a little bit. You can't really see the totals there with Poe. Maybe that's a bit better. I'm sorry that that's crooked. But that went up because I have a second receiver in my bedroom and I had a deal for that. The rental fee was a lot cheaper than it would normally be, so the deal expired. Now I have to pay full price for the second receiver. So that was the additional money. I pulled $5 from my bill buffer to account for this, and I will pay like the extra $1.30 or whatever for my checking buffer, and then we will stuff for $170 moving forward. Cell phone was $158.05 and we paid that as well. I also unstuffed the $150 that was in my credit line envelope and just made a payment to that. So we're sitting at $3,150 on my credit line right now. I ended up also sending $25 to my brother. This was out of my Christmas money. Technically, it counts like down here as well. But this was for him to buy. I told him a Christmas present for his wife, but really I decided that he's gonna end up buying his own Christmas present, like super sneaky like. So he hasn't bought that yet, but I e-transferred him the money to account for that already. And then I ended up spending $71.84. I went across the lines and I bought a couple things over in Maine, as well as just some stuff for like my grandma and a gas card for my uncle. And that means everybody is really taken care of. I just have to wait for my brother to get the gift card because he's in Nova Scotia, and what I want, nobody but him basically can get it, or my sister-in-law, but she is so chaotic. So it's gonna be him. And then a pie for my grandma, which my mom is on bat with. I've already got the money set aside for her to do that. So once she does that, I will be done all of my Christmas shopping. I will have nothing left. in terms of things I need to buy, and I will have finished with $740 being the total that I have spent, which I had budgeted for $1,000. So that's really exciting. I do have $260 left, and I will be putting that probably to my Wanderlust envelope in the next stuffing. You should see that. I haven't decided if it's going to go to Wanderlust or Credit Line, but odds of the difference, I figure it'll be the same thing, because my savings challenges are both going to go to both of those categories. If there is any money left on my Credit Line, the rest will go to my Wanderlust, and if I manage to pay off my Credit Line, all the money in my savings challenges will be going to Wanderlust. So really, it's the same diff to me. And I ended up spending cumulatively, you can't quite see the number, but week 3 cumulative was $1,583.92. So that was a heavy spending week, but keep in mind that had some bills in it, that had some general spending, and that also had all of my Christmas money, plus some other sinking funds. So I really cannot complain about that. And then this next week probably will be a lot lighter still. I think that's all I have to say. This is the first year that I have had all of my Christmas money saved ahead of time, and I have not had to fight to pay back my credit card, because I started budgeting in October of last year, and that means I hadn't saved really any money up for Christmas at that point. So I am so proud of myself. I will say that this absolutely changed my life, this cash stuffing method, and I love it so much. I appreciate every single one of you for supporting me on this journey, and I hope that you stick around. I am blown away every day by the fact that y'all keep coming back to this channel and leaving me positive comments, and you're so encouraging and so sweet, and I'm honored to be a part of this community. So thanks for spending basically 20 minutes-ish with me. I really appreciate that. And if you made it this far, drop a pie emoji in the comments, because that is one of the presents that are still outstanding. I'm gonna buy pie for my grandma for Christmas, and I'm just gonna leave it in the freezer till it's ready to go. I'll see you on my cash stuffing, which should be up on Friday, Saturday. Bye!